Welcome, everybody, to another episode of the MLB Home Run Betting Challenge, or as I like to call it, the Dong Report, where I give out my favorite MLB home run picks for the day. Now, overall, we've had a lot of success doing this, but unfortunately, yesterday was not one of those days. I gave out 8 home run picks on this YouTube channel. Unfortunately, we had an over day. We did not get a single player to cash, which is unfortunate, but these things happen. So with yesterday's down 8 units a day, we are now up to about 23.6 units overall with these home run picks. So still squarely in the green. Obviously never fun to have a rough day like we had yesterday. As for today, I got 5 picks for you guys for my favorite home run picks for the day. Before we get into it, a couple housekeeping items. Number one, while you're here, if you're not already, please remember to subscribe to my YouTube channel. Also, while you're here, please remember to like the video, helps me out a ton. And then if you could comment, let me know your thoughts if you're tailing these picks, if there's anybody that I didn't pick that you like. All that stuff is fun to know, so let me know. Second thing, I also have a membership option for my YouTube channel. So if you are interested in becoming a Jedi in training, feel free to check that out. It's the very first link in the description of the video, as well as the pinned comment. I have 2 different types of membership levels, one for $1, one for $5 a month. So again, if you're interested, check that out. But without further ado, let's get into these home run picks. So as I mentioned, I got 5 for you guys today, starting off with our first pick, Eddie Rosario, to hit a home run plus 480 odds at FanDuel. So this is in the Rockies versus Braves game, as I should have mentioned. So in terms of this game, Rockies versus Braves, it's pretty neutral when it comes to weather, but pitching for the Rockies is about the juiciest pitching matchup that you can ask for. Lamet is pitching for the Rockies, and unfortunately, that guy stinks. Has not pitched well at all this year. In 21.2 innings pitched, he has given up an ERA of 10.38 and given up 3 total home runs, which that part actually isn't that bad, giving up 3 home runs. He's got a home run to fly ball rate of about 12%, which isn't among the worst in the league by any means, but it's also still not good. It would be like top 30 worst pitcher in terms of home run to fly ball rate in the MLB if he hadn't pitched enough innings to qualify. So I'm certainly not scared off of this pitching matchup. So my guess here is that as he pitches more innings, he's going to obviously give up more home runs and have a higher rate than he does now. In terms of Rosario, he just hit one last night. He's got 9 on the year. It feels like a perfect night for him to go back-to-back, cashing our first play for us. Next up, I'm going to have 2 plays in the Cardinals versus Mets game. First one, we are locking in Nolan Gorman to hit a home run plus 400 odds. This is at PointsBet, so not FanDuel. So again, I'm going to have 2 in this game. Both players are going to be on the Cardinals. So this one is a positive weather game. It's not one of the best. It's also definitely in the positive. So in terms of home runs being hit, weather is a good script for this one. Pitching for the Mets is Tyler McGill. That guy stinks. Definitely a good thing going for us with Tyler McGill on the mound. He's given up 8 home runs on the year and about 63 innings pitched. And now he has a home run to fly ball rate similar to Lamet has last year. That was all the way up at 14.6%. This year, it is down to just below 12%. So he's cleaned that up a little bit, but it's still, as I mentioned with Lamet, still not a good home run to fly ball rate. Still definitely a pitcher that you want to target. Now, in terms of Gorman, young second baseman for the Cardinals, he's only like 23 years old, something like that. He's a pretty good player. Admittedly, the power has kind of lost him recently. Looking at the last 10 games, he's only hit 1 home run in that span in the last 10 games. Now, he's got 15 on the year, and he does have power to his game. Like, if you look at his barrel rate, he's got a pretty good barrel rate of about 8.6%. Now, I know that it's hard to understand like what that means. The way I can put that in context for you is that his barrel rate percent is above stud hitters you would think of, like Kyle Schwarber, Bryce Harper, and Mookie Betts. Now, if you just look at blanket stats, anything between 6 and 9% is considered good. Anything above 9% is considered excellent. So he's right on the cusp at 8.6%, which is good for us. So that is our second pick of the evening. Next up in the same game, we are locking in Paul Jung to hit a home run. That is at plus 600 odds, also at PointsBet. So obviously the same pitching matchup applies here as Jung also plays for the Cardinals. I will admit, he is a little bit scarier than Gorman. He doesn't hit for nearly the same power level. He's only got 9 home runs on the year, and he's also hit 1 in his last 10 games. Granted, that was just a couple days ago on June 12th, so at least he has a little bit more of a recent home run swing than Nolan Gorman does, but still trusting the data on this one and going with Paul Jung to hit a home run as our third pick. Next up, in the Blue Jays versus Rangers game, we are taking Josh Jung to hit a home run. That is at plus 560 odds at FanDuel. So if you look at the pitching matchup for this one, admittedly a little bit scarier. The Blue Jays have Kevin Gausman on the mound, who I do admit is an absolute stud. I've also met him before, so that's probably why he's such a good pitcher. But Josh Jung is a good batter himself. So for this one, I was looking at a different stat called ISO rate, which is just isolated power. And he's got an isolated power percent of about 21.7%. Now that is in the category that's considered great. Anything that is 21% and above is considered great. He's at 21.7. Now, Gausman himself pitches absolute gas. So the hope here is that Jung can get one, hit a fastball, get it on the barrel, which he's decent at. He's got an average barrel rate. It's right just below the barrel rate that I mentioned for Nolan Gorman, which was at 6.8%. He's just below that, so still considered good to great in terms of barrel rate. He's got a great ISO, isolated power rate, so hopefully if he can get good contact on a Gausman fastball, he can get one to go yard, cashing this home run bet for us. And last pick of the evening, we are going in the Angels versus Royals game. Shohei Otani to hit a home run. That is at plus 400 odds at BetRivers. Now, getting plus 400 for this feels like an absolute gift because the stats backing up Otani are just laughable. Now, if you want to go with just straight counting stats, he's got 22 home runs on the year, and he's hit 7 home runs in his last 10 games. He's hit 4 home runs in his last 4 games. He's hit a home run in back-to-back games, and then 4 days ago, he hit 2 home runs in the same game. Now, if you look at his advanced stats, it's even crazier. So I mentioned I mentioned isolated power recently, right? Anything above 21% is considered great. Anything above 25% is considered excellent. Well, Shohei Otani is second in the MLB in an isolated power percent at 32%. Anything above 25% is considered excellent. He's at 32%. That's just insane. So there's a ton of ways I can tell you about how good Shohei Otani is. And he's also hot, which helps us as well. The Royals, to look at the pitching matchup, have Brady Singer on the mound. That guy stinks. It's all in all looking like a great dong day for Otani. Let's hope that he can go back to back to back, cashing our 5th and final home run pick for today. And that's all I got for you. 5 home run picks for you guys to lock in. As I mentioned at the beginning, if you are tailing, comment and let me know. Other than that, remember to like the video, subscribe to my YouTube channel, and if you're interested in becoming a Jedi in training, check out the membership options in the description of the video or the pinned comment. Thanks for watching, and have a good one.